What are simple machines? Simple machines are tools that can help make work easier. There are 6 simple machines: a wedge, a screw, a pulley, a lever, and a wheel in an inclined plane. All of these simple machines help a person use force to move other objects. All of these tools were created in ancient days and can be used to create compound or more complex machines. Many of these tools you use every day and you don't even notice them. Can you look around the room and find a simple machine? The inclined plane. The inclined plane is a basic ramp, a flat surface that lifts objects up at an angle rather than in a straight up and down, which requires more force and strength. This is the simplest of the machines, as any flat surface can become an inclined plane. Some examples of an inclined plane are ramps, slides, roller coasters, and ladders. Can you think of another type of inclined plane? The wedge is an inclined plane that moves to split an object in 2 or more pieces or separate 2 objects. Its slimmer side is able to fit in between 2 objects and then a force is applied. It takes less force to drive a wedge into or under an object than it does to split an object yourself. Some examples of wedge are scissors, an axe, shovel, pushpins, or knives. Can you think of another type of wedge?
Hi, today we're going to talk about a lever. But before we do, let's go over some vocabulary words. Work. Work is moving a load over distance. Load. Something being moved by a machine. Lever. A simple machine that is a rigid bar that turns on a fixed point. Fulcrum. A fixed point, which a lever turns. Now there are a couple of types of different levers. There's a first, second, and third class lever. A first class lever is a lever whose fulcrum is between the effort and the load, like a seesaw. So today I'm going to show you a first class lever. Here we have our rigid bar and our fulcrum. This box here is going to be our load. Our load is placed at one end of the lever. The fulcrum is in the middle. All of our effort goes on this side. Remember, the effort is the amount of force we put into work. So for this, to lift this end, we'd have to push down on that end to move our box or our load. There are some things you can use at home to make a homegrown lever. Any rigid piece, I would suggest a ruler, and anything that can be used as a fulcrum. For me, I used 3 pencils in rubber bands. Experiment. Figure out where the fulcrum would need to be, or the lever would need to be, to make the lever and the work easier. Here are some examples of different types of levers. See what you can experiment with.
The pulley system has several types of pulleys. The basic pulley is a wheel with a rope that moves around it and helps to move things up and down. Other pulleys or parts can be added to make more complex pulley systems. Examples of pulleys are elevators, car engines, ship sails, flagpoles, and window blinds. Can you think of another type of pulley? The screw is an inclined plane with a twist. The screw is an inclined plane that is wrapped around a cylindrical thread that helps it to wedge and stay. Screws are used to hold items together. The screw wedges into an object, then as it's turned, the object travels up the inclined plane. Examples of screws are screws, jar lids, faucets, a drill, and a swivel chair. Can you think of another type of screw? The wheel and axle are probably one of humankind's most famous inventions. The simple machine of the wheel and axle can be used to transport objects or to lift objects. The axle is a rod centered in the wheel that the wheel then spins around in a balanced circle. This transfer of force and motion can make moving things easier. Some examples of the wheel and axle are cars, bicycles, steering wheels, the electric fan, motors, and doorknobs. Can you think of another type of wheel and axle? Let's talk about some common misconceptions. Don't all machines have motors? No. Machines are devices that redirect or magnify an effort or force. Basically, anything that makes work a little bit easier can be described as a machine. Isn't power and force the same thing? Power is the rate in which work can be done, but force is defined as strength or energy as an attribute to physical action, drive, or push into a specified position or state of using strength. Basically, anytime you move something, you're using force. Do simple machines make work easier? Yes, they do. However, there's a trade-off. Often, work can be easier, but most of the time you have to travel in a further distance. Look at the picture before you. Looking at this picture, can you explain the third misconception? Notice that the guy has to walk further with the wheelbarrow than if he were just to go straight to the end of the ramp. How many simple machines are in this picture? If you said 3, you're correct. There is an inclined plane, a wheel and axle, and a wedge. Thank you for watching.